guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and today we're working on the 39 Forgotten Hot Rod project. The temperatures are dropping really quickly here, and I'm trying to kick ass and get the body back on the frame. Last time, you may remember, we got the exhaust all built, 99% built. I started it up, got it running with the exhaust, and I was pretty darn happy with how all that went. And now we're ready to start putting the floor on and of course putting the body on. So what we're gonna work on today is getting our new floor on the frame and then start cutting away the old floor in the body. So we partnered up with Max. If you guys want to learn about any of the products that are in this video, we'll drop a bunch of links down below. I went through their catalog and picked out the stuff that I thought was very helpful to myself, and Max was nice enough to send them out to us to help out with this project. So if you want to learn about these products, I'll say it again at the end, but there's links down at the bottom. You can click on those, check out any of the products we have. They're the ones that I used in this project, and maybe it'll help you if you have a 37 to 40 Ford. So what we got was, number one, a full-length floor pan. So as you guys, any of you guys who have been watching our channel for a while know, I have the tools, I have the capabilities to make almost anything from scratch, but there's a time when you get to a point where it's time versus, and labor versus the cost of a part that would probably turn out nicer or as nice as what you would do, but with a lot more work. Max distributes a bunch of different stuff, and one of the things they offer is a full-length floor pan. I think it was right around $500 or a little more. I can't remember anymore, but it was in that range. And I started thinking about the hours it would take. A sheet of sheet metal nowadays of 20 gauge is like, I don't know, $80 or something like that, $70. And then the time to lay out the beads, roll them, and everything else, and then make a tunnel. It was just a lot of work, and I started thinking, you know what, for this project, we save money in other places, we might as well get a floor pan. So I have a full-length floor pan. I have inner rockers in where the doors open up. They're kind of rotten, so I decided last minute, called up Max. They had me a set of inner rockers really quickly. And then the last thing I ordered just before we got this video going is, I remembered I needed the mounts, the rubber for under the floor pan, the body mounts, and also the hardware. Luckily, they had like a full kit, which is one of my favorite things, is that they had a kit that I could just mount everything up, and me not knowing these cars as well, I was able to just get the full kits with the body mounts and then also the hardware. So I got all that together, pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna chase the threads in the frame. We're gonna put the floor pan right on. Now this floor pan's already sprayed with weld through etch primer, which is really great. So I don't really need to treat it right now because I can just go ahead and put everything together and put it down on, which is really nice. So we can just start working on it right away. So I'm gonna work on getting the floor pan mounted after I chase some of the threads and start moving. Hopefully we'll see how life goes. We might have the body slid down over the frame by the end of this video, but you never know. But hopefully we'll get the pan on here by the end. So here's one nice thing. I got all the hardware laid out. They gave me a little diagram here of how all the body mounts mount. So I got all that stuff laid out here with the little hardware, all the little rubber washers and metal washers, and then all the different rubber body mounts. I got all those laid out, pretty much how they're supposed to be on the frame, so that way I can kind of keep track, and I can lay them on the frame as we start mounting up the floor pan. But you notice there's a bunch in the center here where the X member is, X section in the frame. There's a lot of them there, and that's mainly where our floor pan's mounting. Some of the other ones that are out in here, like on this part of the frame here, where there's these outrigger kind of mounts, they're on the body, so we don't have to worry about those as much right now. But these ones all in the center here, we gotta make sure we get those because that's where the floor pan's going down. So I'm gonna work on getting those dropped in as well. So I changed my mind and decided to spray the whole underside with some Eastwood Rubberized Rust Encapsulator. It's a nice seals up the metal, and also has a rubberized undercoating, but not quite as messy looking. It's more like a textured type finish. Looks a little bit better. I just hosed it on just to get it coated because I realized that the floor pan, some of it's going to be inaccessible after we get it mounted up. So I decided to spray the underside, let it dry, and now we can throw the max pan on. There, just about there. Pedal. All right, so George was handy with the Sawzall cutoff grinder, and a little hard to see here, but so we left a little bit of the original floor pan of where the original floor pan sits right here. It actually laps over the seat pan, so we need to peel
You can see the remnants here. Gonna peel that off, so we're gonna just grind it until there's nothing left. And peel that stuff off, that just gets spot welded there. The inner rockers are pretty much like gone, so actually helps us a little bit, to be honest. And this side, same thing, pretty much gone. So we can just grind everything to clear our patch panels and then lay them in and figure out where they need to sit. So we're gonna work on getting all this excess stuff ground out and mocked up, and then we can slide the body over and see where we're at. Yeah! That seam splitter tool's, it's nice, and if you hit it just right, it'll break right through the spot welding. There we go. That side's a little. This side's basically what's left is just the tack welded. Goes to right there, right? Yeah. Alright, so we got most of the stuff extracted. Now what we're dealing with is some residual rust that we definitely need to take care of. So right in here on this seat pan, where the floor pan lays over it, it's on this side is all Swiss cheese. The passenger side is actually pretty good. So what Andrew did was made up a little patch here that I'm just holding it up there roughly, but that will go there, and we'll weld in a whole piece here. It'll be a little easier, I think, to weld right near the bend. A lot of times people would be tempted to weld down so it's the smallest piece as possible, but it's actually kind of thin all in here and over in there, so I'd rather get up into good metal so it makes it easier to weld. So we're going to weld right below the bend here all the way across and cut that whole section out and get that welded in. So we're going to work on getting it tacked in for right now, and then we'll fully weld everything once we get the full floor pan all good. But this side's not too bad, it needs to be cleaned up. The other thing we need to do is, and Andrew's working on it right now, is there is little C-shaped pieces right here that the floor pan sits on and then ties into the seat pan, and those are pretty bad. So we gotta make those ourselves. So we're just gonna, Andrew's gonna cut those out and bend them up on the brake, and we'll make 2 pieces of those that we'll get spot welded in. And then we can start setting the body down over it. But we got to get this inner structure stuff, that Swiss cheese, kind of taken care of first and replaced. Alright, so this is exactly why these cars rot out, where they do. The dirt and whatever falls and sits in here, and as we're cleaning this out to repair this little C-channel, you can see all the dirt. This is actually just like dirt that's trapped in there, so I don't know if it's from the car, wherever it was sitting, but there's actually like mud and dirt that's all caked in there. So that's why these things rot out, because the traps right behind here, it's trapped in, and then water and mud and whatever sits there and just rots everything out. But just got to extract this side out, put our new piece that Andrew made. We'll go in, and then we'll be doing pretty good once we get that tacked in place and connected back up. Oh, don't go so fast, we're going to smash the wheel.
We're going to have to kind of like, we need to lift iron out?
Yeah.
The belly?
try to lift this. Alright, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. That's not right.
Is the front gonna be high enough?
Well, the front we can tilt.
Going up.
What's that?
I hope you're going up.
I was. You guys alright?
Yeah. Hold on, you're gonna hit my fucking leg. Alright. We got about 6 inches we gotta go yet.
Anybody lift that high?
Yeah. Yep.
Alright. We're clear. Alright, hold on. You start letting down. We're gonna need people at the front then. So probably.
We good? We can let go now?
Actually, you know what? Yeah. We won't have to go very high in the front. Just gotta get past that bar, and then we're gonna put it back down.
Do you want me to push down on the back and try and tip it?
Right there. Alright?
Yep.
Now, somebody just hold it and I'll start letting it down.
I'll hold
And
it.
just guide the steering wheel around the bar.
So you got eyes on that?
Yeah, I can see it.
You go too high?
No, I said to release it. What's that?
Yeah, kind of.
Let me just get it. Yeah, you guys do whatever you need to do pushing it around. I'll just start slowly letting it down. Tell me what you need.
This fender's
I'm
sitting
just trying to
over
figure
here.
out.
What's that?
Fender's sitting over here.
Well, it's alright if it's just touching it. We gotta get it around the steering wheel first. That's
Yeah.
number one.
You need me to come forward with it? What do we need?
No, we're good.
We just need to keep
Well, actually,
grounded.
these guys have to
No, we're gonna
kind of push.
move
They're
it
gonna
back
have
a
to
little
push
bit.
back to let it slide the wheel under. So just let them push it around. You just gotta support it.
Take it down slow. Once we're past the wheel, we'll pull it forward again. Can you? I get no eyes on
I
the
got
top
it,
of the
I
wheel.
got
Okay. Like one more drop. A little bit more.
Keep going, a little bit. Alright.
All right.
Now start bringing it up a tiny bit. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll try on this. Right here.
Ready?
Get up
There you go.
that thing.
Now we're clear. All right,
Now
now
I'll start bringing it forward.
Start
as you
dropping
come
it
down.
Toes.
want to slip. We'll probably have to slide it forward, right?
Yeah. Well, it'll start coming forward as we drop.
Does the whole thing need to go forward a bit?
No, let
I
me
think what we
tip
need
the
to do
back
is
up.
Tip the back up, yeah.
Yeah, ready?
We tip the back up. Oh, no. Let it back up. Now move forward a little.
As you tilt up, push forward.
Yeah, we're fast. We're
I
fast.
have to keep holding up a little bit. Go ahead and drop it. Keep pushing forward.
We are forward.
You got it through? Yeah.
Yep.
We had to clear the steering wheel, but I think we got to push forward more, right?
Hold it there, Matt. Hold it there. Because you're back there. I'm like sitting down back here.
Yeah, it's looking good at the floor pan. Like right where the tunnel is, we're lined up right with the tunnel.
We're sitting down back here.
Alright, we're gonna keep going down. Actually, are we behind that bracket on the dash?
The dash is in front of it.
It's gotta slide. Probably gotta go back just a little bit.
I'm talking
Not even, maybe a
quarter
inch. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. The bolts in the steering box, the column can move up and down like this much. And I think,
for adjustment.
yeah, and I think when we
Oh, yeah.
and when we tightened the column down last week for the exhaust,
So we gotta take it loose and
these
let
three
it
bolts.
slide back.
Yeah. That's right. Because Mike and I were trying to figure out, we're like, well, if we push it all the way up,
Well, they're,
look at that. So we
are
just
they
got
5/8?
No, I think they're 9/16.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good for now. All right, so we got the floor all mounted in, which is really awesome, and got, of course, got the body on. It's bolted down. I got a handful of tacks laid in on the floor pan to tie it into the body, and everything's at least sturdy enough that we can roll the car around with the body mounted, which is really awesome. Now I have a little bit more work to do. We got to get the inner rockers trimmed to fit. We started trimming the driver's side, but it's just going to take some time to trim them, get them sitting just right, notch them out for the body mount holes, everything else, get them welded in. So that was something we were going to get done today. So we got to a good stopping point. We were able to roll it outside. Typical of me, I had to just pop some hubcaps on to kind of envision and pipe dream of what it's going to look like. These are the caps that I got at Hershey that kind of look pretty cool. So we're gonna next time work on getting the rockers in, get the floor all welded up, seam sealed, everything's good there, and then we can kind of start moving on to putting it back together as a car, which is really awesome. I also have all the hardware for Max for mounting the running boards, so we'll work on getting all that done, and every time making it more of a car. But I love the way it sits. The stance that it has, I think, is going to be perfect. Just barely tucking tire in the rear, and the front, I think, has a nice nose down stance. It's going to look aggressive without looking stupid. It's not going to look broken, just look like a cool old hot rod. So that's really makes me happy. So that's all we have for this one. I appreciate you guys following along with the 39 Forgotten Hot Rod. As always, we do videos on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. If you haven't, definitely subscribe. Share it with a friend, and drop us a comment. Let me know what you think of the hubcaps and the stance of the Forgotten Hot Rod. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.